Hello everyone, I am Shikha Tiwari, founder of You Reinvent, where we reinvent the way we look at our day-to-day struggles and situations and try to invent solutions that truly work. Today we are going to address the issue of disciplining older kids. So when we talk about, disciplining older kids, we're basically looking for some sort of cooperation in terms of, being more sincere towards their studies, a little bit of more time management, being responsible towards family members and, doing some chores, not smoking, drinking and stuff like that. The truth of the matter is that, all of these things, they don't kind of fall on their radar. So they're still trying to experiment what works and what doesn't work for them. The part of the brain that controls decision making hasn't fully developed, and the need to express their autonomy is like really high, and a mix of this creates a teenager which leads to bad decisions, and which is what we're truly scared of. But the problem arises when we start operating out of that fear. Now, I know it's very difficult, and I still have a 4-year-old, so I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I know in practice, fear, resistance doesn't work, So you have to come from a warm, soft place in your heart. Like, what is it that you're trying to truly achieve with your child? And that kind of changes the relationship. So in terms of teenagers, what we're looking at is, come from a place of connection versus correction. So you're looking to foster a relationship with them wherein trust and communication are like the pillars of your relationship, and that is how you kind of get the ball rolling in terms of getting more discipline and getting them to hear you a little bit more. So what can you truly do? There are 3 steps. The first thing is that you come, like I said, you come from a place of connection. So you actually sit your teenager or a young adult down across the table. You discuss, you share your concerns, and you keep an open mind and hear them out also. It's not like, you cannot brush their concerns or their thoughts away. So you hear them out, hear their concerns, and come to a decision which is agreeable to both the parties. And that is the key here. Any decision, so whether it is screen time, playing football, playing cricket, going out with girls to a mall or whatever it is, the timing or whatever your concern is has to be agreeable to both the parties. So if it means that the curfew is at 9 p.m., then it is at 9 p.m. And that brings me to the second point. You have to set rules and expectations and boundaries. So if the curfew at 9 p.m. is not followed, you have a consequence. Now, the consequence also needs to be discussed. You cannot just surprise them with, hey, you know what? I'm going to take away your scooty from tomorrow. It doesn't relate. You have to have related consequences. So if they stayed out late, they cannot go to the next party or the next 3 parties or whatever. So you have to have rules which are discussed like an adult and then followed. Now the problem, what happens here most often is that we make up the rules in our own head and we kind of announce it to them. Now 2 things happen when you do that. One, the teenager thinks, you know what, you never discussed it with me, so I really don't care, and my position or my fears and my concerns were not even counted. So what the hell? Either I'm going to be submissive and just agree with whatever you're saying, and that actually shuts down the communication and trust between you and your child, or they become rebellious and go into all the nasty, ways which we don't want them to go. Very dangerous things that happens is that, we kind of are sending them a signal that I don't trust you to make decisions for yourself. And you know what? This kind of continues way into adulthood. So when they make relationships, when they go to a workplace, they don't adhere to rules and laws, even if it's for their own good. And, resentment, not being able to express their own opinion and not being able to trust their own decisions, that is what happens. So when you discuss and establish a rule, a boundary with your child, immediately you will see some sort of for the lack of a better word, I would call it a miracle. It starts to happen. And what happens is you start trusting your child a little bit more, because that's where you're coming from. You're trying to tell your child that I'm being agreed to this rule and we have to follow this. Now, when you start trusting your child, they tend to abide by it a little bit more, because they feel empowered by your trust. They feel capable of being able to make a decision which they were party to, and therefore they follow through. So there it is. I hope this helps. And if you think there is anything that I missed, or if there are some tips that you have followed with your teenager, please feel free to share it with me and our fellow viewers. And until next time, take care. Bye bye.